Welcome to the Art of Relationshipping. I'm Michelle Hoffmann, and tonight we're going to talk about how to find love now. If you have come to this presentation, this workshop, this masterclass, this meeting, this opportunity to find the right person in your life, you've come to the right place. Because the dating rules of engagement have changed. I am in the process, and I have the first working draft of the activities that go along with this book that I'm writing. This is the third book of mine, Find Love Now. And it's really the singles guide to attracting your dream come true relationship. It's how to attract, keep, and enjoy the right love in your life. And tonight, what I'd like to do is share with you a little bit about how I help guide people to attract the right love into their lives. I'm getting chills because it's so exciting for me that I get this job, that I get to help people feel what real love feels like, for the real, like walking on air. Like, what did one of my clients say the other day? It's like being with him is like a gentle rain. It feels like cotton candy. It feels like I'm home. So I want that feeling for you. And in the chat, can you let me know what would love feel like? If you know what love feels like, and if you don't know what love feels like, what do you believe it feels like? So put in the chat what you think when you're in real love, what's it going to feel like for you? It feels like a safe landing. I love that. A warm embrace. These are good. It feels unconditional. I will agree. I'm getting chills on your responses. These are really good. Thank you. So what I'd like to share with you is a little bit about what I've learned, one, in how to attract the right person for me, and then how I started to share this skill with other people. So you may be successful in life, yet not as lucky in love. Many of the people who come to me are professionally successful. They have a lot of friends. They know how to lead a full and happy life, but for some reason, they may not have had the role models, or it just didn't work to find the right partner. And it could be because you've never found that person. It could be because you're on the heels of heartbreak. It could be because of a divorce. And there's a grief and loss with a divorce that I think is so real. And part of that is the grief for the loss of the life you thought you should have and could have had. And then there's also, like myself, I'm a widow. There are bereaved widows and relieved widows. I'm a bereaved widow, and it's the loss of the continuation of the relationship that I was in. All of those things sometimes makes you feel like you're alone on a deserted island. Like, although it's very beautiful and wonderful, and you've done all of the joyful things you could do on a beautiful deserted island, at some point in the process, you want to overcome that loneliness, that fear, the anxiety, and the disappointment in life that totally changes, like giggling comfort and unconditional, a warm embrace of being in love when you get to share life's journey with someone else. And that's what we're all looking for. That's what all of the songs have been written about, the sonnets, the stories, the movies. And we're like, when is it my turn? I'm alone on this island. Even though you're living this full and happy life, it's like, where's the pillow talk? And how do I get there? And the question that I have for you, that I have found, is, are you sending the right messages out to magnetically attract the right person to you? And that, from my experience, has been the biggest challenge out in the dating world, where it's like, oh, we're looking for somebody to just set us up on a date and it'll magically happen. Or we're waiting for him to just show up, or for her to waltz into my life. And then we catch eyes and we'll know when we know. And it's like, So we go into the online dating world. If you're really brave, it took me a while to get there. And it's like, what should we position ourselves? How should we present ourselves so that we can attract the right person to us? And I think one of the biggest mistakes, learning moment right here, underline, that people make in the dating world is that they are so on guard and trying to be so perfect that they aren't always showing their genuine authenticity. And the problem with that is we're like, look at the sparkly object over here. It'll be perfect for you. And we try to do things that we're not. And you can't maintain that for a substantial length of time. So really it's, are the messages you're sending out attracting the love that you deserve to come into you? Because you deserve good love. Life is better with good love in it. So that's what we're here tonight to see if I can help you, like even in a short amount of time, see things from just a slightly different perspective. I'm not asking for a 180-degree turn here. What I'm inviting you to do is to consider seeing things just a little bit differently, which may make a very significant impact. Oh, this is really manual. Okay. So I wanted to share a little bit about me because I mean, this is really going to be about you, but you want to know, who am I and how did I get here? I've always dreamt of being in a healthy relationship, even from the time when I would blow out the candles on my birthday cake as a little girl. I, I did meet the right man of my dreams. He was not an obvious choice, but because I had already established my process, when we met, we knew we were the right ones for each other. And I'm going to share that with you tonight. I'm not keeping anything from you, I promise. And we built a family together, and we built a home together, and we built a life together. And it was not outrageous, but it was perfect. And it was perfect for us until he died. And I wondered if I could ever love again. And I realized that that left me without my idea of what life was going to be like. It also left me as head of household, sole breadwinner, sole parent, and single. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is the single piece, because there's ways to move through this. But I even alluded to this earlier. I was like, how do I find the right love for me? I didn't want an online date. That sounded super dangerous. I couldn't afford a bad date. My family couldn't afford me going on a bad date. I have 2 kids. They don't have their daddy, and I can't be on a bad date. Plus, it's exhausting, frustrating, boring, and so disappointing and demeaning. And then there's the inner thoughts. I'm too old, too fat, too set in my ways, too undesirable, too XYZ. Can't somebody just knock on my door and deliver this FedEx package to me? And that's what I was hoping would happen. Again, here I am. These are organizations that I've represented. You may recognize some of these brands. And my life changed when my late husband passed. And I realized that I didn't have a guide to how to know how to do this. So I wrote the guide I did not have. It became an international bestseller, Life Worth Living. And people from all over the world were reaching out to me to say, hey, can you help me through this too? And the people who were reaching out were of all walks of life, all different types of people in all different types of situations. And then also the people through the decades who I had managed and helped with their careers were like, when were you going to write the book we've been asking you to write? That's the new management blueprint. Tonight, we're going to focus more on Life Worth Living, because being an international best-selling author, I was invited to red carpets. There were all kinds of events that we went to and book signings. My publisher has Audible as well as print and electronic copies. And it was just a whole new way of living. And what I want to share with you tonight is how people came to me who were more than just widows and widowers, and who were asking me to help them find the relationship of their dreams. because what I had realized is I had written books about professional relationships, and I had now written books about personal relationships. During the pandemic, I was on this happy hour call, and the people were lamenting, how come we can't find the right date to date? And I'm like, I'm having a great time dating, even though I can't see anyone because we're in lockdown. And they're like, well, how are you doing this? Look who we're attracting. And they put up their phones with the people who are liking them on these online profiles or online dating sites. And I'm like, do not go out with that guy. He's going to chop you up before he's done with you. What does your profile say that this is who you're attracting? Do you want me to help you with that? And in my integrity, because I had offered, then I had to follow through. Well, they all said yes. And that was a Friday night after the happy hour. By Saturday morning, I realized that just changing your resume isn't necessarily going to get you the right job professionally. You need to know how to present yourself and do the cover letter and know how to behave in the interview to demonstrate to the person that you're the right fit for that career opportunity, right? So translate that professional experience to a personal one, updating and upgrading the personal profile you have might get you the interest, but then what do you do next? We need to up-level your skills in communicating and engaging and making sure that you're finding the right one for you. So I'm very excited to share this little clip with you. This was totally unsolicited from one of my clients. And why it's so interesting, I'm going to tell you once you've heard her.
Hi, my name is Terry Roseman, and I've been working with Michelle Hoffmann at relationshipping101.com for the last several weeks, and it has changed my relationship with myself and with the online dating process. Whatever type of relationship you are interested in working on, Michelle Hoffmann is the person to reach out to help guide and coach you through the process. I've went from not wanting to have anything to do with online dating to having fun with online dating. And I invite you to have fun with your relationships as well by reaching out to Michelle Hoffmann at relationshipping101.com.
Okay, super love that. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, I've got this, I know how to get the right person for me, and 1 being, I really have some things to learn about how to invite the right person into my life. Will you put in the chat, do you think on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident and competent are you that you've got the skills, the knowledge, the know-how to find the right person and attract them into you? And I'm going to a 1, a 4, a 6. These are great, very real numbers. Remind me, I'm going to ask this question again at the end, and let's see if those numbers go up. So I really want to make a difference and add value to you right here, right now. And also at the end of this presentation, I'm going to, I've got some gifts for you. Ta-da! Okay. Shaim is like, I got a 5. All right, it's good. I'm glad you're here. Now, here's what I want to share with you. I was just watching this clip that Terry had sent to me, and she was at a point, she's like, I don't trust myself in intimate relationships. I don't know how to navigate obstacles. And I'm not willing to spend any time in this online dating world. And I'm like, okay. She goes, okay, I'll spend as much time on the online dating apps as I spend playing solitaire on my computer. I'm like, okay. So she said it was a swap. And she's been in the happiest relationship of her life. She says, this man really gets me. We laugh together so much. He's my person. He's my soulmate. I finally get this. I know what true love feels like. And she said, last night she was saying she felt like she'd never been in a relationship before, in any relationship in her life, where she didn't have to be someone who she wasn't. And she gets to be who she truly is in this relationship. How amazing is that? So now let's get you there, because the question is, how do I date in the current world? Dating is different. The dating rules of engagement have changed. Are you ready to hear my insight on how things have changed and what to do about it. Because if you are ready, really ready to dive into the dating pool, are you relationship ready yourself confidently? And are you able to identify someone else who's relationship ready? Or are you going to get involved with someone who may drag you down with them? Because you want to be in a partnership in such a way that you can identify your person, maintain your individuality, and be something more in the partnership that you're in. So I'd like you to take a moment and imagine, wouldn't it be awesome if I could wave a magic wand? What would be your dream come true partner? What would this partner look like? How would you encounter this partner for the first time? And when you look at this person, will you know in your heart of hearts? Will it be like, oh, I'm recognizing someone who I feel like I've known my whole life? Because that's what it feels like, although it may not happen at the very first encounter. All right. All relationships go through the same cycle, from chemistry to casual to committed. You could name any relationship, the relationship with your inner voice, the relationship with your body, with food, with money, your relationship with your family, your children, your pets, your relationship with your career, your community. All relationships go from chemistry to casual to committed. And it's actually a spiral, but it's very exciting to understand how this works. In the chemistry phase of a relationship, let's say I was able to wave that magic wand, and actually tomorrow morning when you wake up and leave your house, or I'll just FedEx them to you, and you open the door, you're like, ha ha, you're who I have been waiting for. I wish I could do this, but it just wouldn't work that way anyway. But what's happening when you first engage and encounter someone is that you are thrown into the chemistry phase of a relationship. And in the chemistry phase of a relationship, it's very exciting. And literally your body chemistry changes. Your endorphins get excited. You get this rush of oxytocin, which is the cuddle drug, literally guiding you to reach out and connect with other people, or pets or whatever. So you get this chemical response. It's like the euphoria of eating too much chocolate. It's like, and my gums go numb. I don't know if that's other people's experience. Tell me in the chat if anyone has felt that, or did I just divulge too much information? But it's like so exciting, and maybe you can't stop thinking about this person, and you forget like that you left something on the stove or in the oven, or you didn't realize you were driving already and you missed your turn, and you're like, because you can't stop thinking about this person. It's so delicious and engaging. And one of my clients says her resting bitch face has left the building once she found her person. But that's what it is. It's so exciting when you don't always know when it's wrong, but you know when it's right. And this is a key component, because you need to know what is right to know when it's right, right? So from the chemistry phase, you move into the casual phase of a relationship. And this is when you can anticipate what might happen. Like, oh my gosh, we had the greatest date and he's asked me out again, or she's suggested that we go out again. And you get to look forward to this. And we as mammals like to be able to anticipate and then have that anticipation be fulfilled, meeting expectations. It's why we like to go to the same restaurant over and over. It's why we like to enjoy the same food over and over. It's why we enjoy listening to the same song over and over, or watching movies and films and that sort of thing, because we like to be able to anticipate what's going to happen, especially when it's got a really good outcome, like a really amazing kiss, or hand holding or knowing that something is happening here. Now, there's something else that happens in the casual phase of a relationship, and I'm going to go further into that in just a moment, but I want to let you know that it happens here. In the casual phase of a relationship, not only are we starting to connect in a more intimate and regular way, we're learning and we're curious about one another. And in that space, we're also learning what may be a deal breaker for us. And it's important to know your deal breakers because as you connect with someone, you want to make sure that they are not a hazard to your life, and also that you are growing together in the right direction. It could be something as simple as, for me, a deal breaker. Hello, yes, you're welcome. A deal breaker was, I would actually prefer someone not to have seasickness as being an issue, because I really enjoy being out on the water and I don't want to miss out on that in my life because I want to be with my partner. So it could be something as simple as that. And if, I think I might give on that one, but what is the red flag? Is it so geographically undesirable and you're not in a position to spend time together? There's things about long distance relationships that are good and some things that are challenging. So whatever those red flags are, the red flags are easier to identify than the green lights, and I'm going to help you with those. So it goes red flag. If there are yellow flags, this is like, oh gosh, it's something that you need to clear. I have a client who needed to have the spooning in the drawer. Do you know what I mean by that? When they're like, she was really needing organization. And she actually found a partner who didn't care and, was happy to put the spoons in the drawer in the right way, but really it mattered not to her partner. And that's somebody who cared enough to make her happy was so important to her because she needed the spooning. I've said that word too many times. Okay. And then if there's a yellow light, and like in the case of the spoons, I like the example because it's just not, it doesn't take any sides anywhere. When she found someone and cleared, could you spoon the spoons? And her partner was like, I can spoon the spoons. Then that clears the yellow light to a green light. And what's happening in this commitment portion of the relationship is they agreed upon something. They made a little pact, a contract, or whatever, and that automatically thrusts you forward into the chemistry phase of this relationship again, because you're like, this is someone who gets me and who's willing to accommodate for something as simple as spoons. It could be the chemistry phase of meeting one another and deciding you're going to go out on a date together. And you go to some place that you know, enjoy, and love, and you have a wonderful time together. And then the commitment phase of that relationship could be, I'm really interested in learning more about you. I would love if we could see each other and share some more time together. Would you be open to that? And if the answer is yes, bam, that throws you right into the chemistry phase again. So you can see how this cycle works like that. And then maybe you decide to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and it applies to every gender option. I work with all kinds of people who like all kinds of things. I'm just going to stick with the standard for the moment for simplicity, and say you're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. And that throws you into the chemistry phase because you've taken on a new role. I am boyfriend or I am girlfriend, and I am connected with this person. And I can't wait to see where it goes. And as the relationship deepens, this relationship cycle continues to spiral. Okay. Now, let's say you're at the beginning of a relationship. I know how to jump in at any point and make sure things remain in alignment. For example, if you're in a partnership already and someone is staying in the chemistry phase and you are in the casual phase, we need to make sure that things line up eventually. Otherwise, that misalignment is going to cause a red flag challenge, and it may be enough that would break the relationship when it didn't need to be broken. That would be like a call me for the 3 easy steps, please. But here we are. If you're at the very beginning of this process and you're like, I got a clean slate, I keep running into the same challenges and the same problems in relationships, and I really, really want to get it right this time. One of the most important things that people overlook is the lifeline of your relationship arc. What you were looking for in a relationship in your as a young adult and at different decades in your life could be very different. So it's important to identify what were you looking for in a partner or in a relationship in your 20s versus your 40s or your 60s or your 80s. And people who come to me are traditionally between the ages of like 35 and 84. And I do have a client who I was wishing happy birthday to recently, and she sent me a picture of herself and her boyfriend in Greece, and they were celebrating her 84th birthday. And she was saying, thank you. I have found love, real love, for the first time in my life. Now, this is a woman who's had a full and happy life, and now it's getting even better. So what I would like for all of you is don't wait. Don't wait till you're 84. Let's find love now. Come on, let's find the next slide now. No, we don't need to edit. You're really behind the curtain here. So how do you know if your relationship ready? Knowing who you are and what you desire and need, and finding someone who you understand so well and you like them anyway. And it would be your dream come true to fulfill their desire and needs. And guess what? It's their dream come true to fulfill your desires and needs. That's one way. I have an entire process. The first part of the program that I work with people is how to become ready to be relationship ready. And that's really knowing who you are in the world and putting everything in alignment so that you are relationship ready, and then can identify other people who are relationship ready. You have a big experience, but yes, I do have a big experience about relationships. Other people need me a relationship coach because I have a big experience on relationships. All right, let's dive in and do some activities. And you can take notes for yourself. Here's an important, and I've already alluded to this activity, how to step into your future identity. I call this, this is about the roles and the titles that you have held in your life. And it's a Venn diagram of who you used to be. So put in the chat, who did you used to be? And then it's who you are now and who you are becoming. And I have spelled this all out in my next slide. Who you used to be, a daughter, a son, a sister, a brother. So you can go ahead and put this in the chat or write it out for yourself and go ahead and do the activity. As a young person, you were a friend, a student, an athlete, an artist, an employee, an employer, spouse, an ex, a widow or widower, a parent. Now, if we've got all of that, you can just check those off and made it easy for you. Who are you now? A daughter, a son, that still holds through because the Venn diagram doesn't change. We're not changing the past. I used to be a waste man. There you go. Who are you now? A daughter, a son, a sister, a brother, a friend, a student, an athlete, an artist, employer, an ex, a widow, a parent, a waste man. And then once you're very clear on who you are now and the roles that you hold, who would you like to step into becoming? So go ahead and you can include that in the chat. Are you interested in being a parent or remaining a parent, a partner, an adventurer, a philanthropist, a yacht captain, a partner? I got it. Who I am now, self-motivated person. Yes, I'm a son, but I want to be a husband. And why not? A father. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. This is a confidence assessment. This is something that I share with my clients when we first start working together. And this is how I provide a quantitative assessment of the growth that they've had in the qualitative experience in the work that we do. And I'm going to be an inspiration to the world. I like it. You're already starting. It's good. And essentially what we do is we take the primary, like some really big aspects of your life, and you can add whatever you want or edit or delete on this assessment. But here's what I've done with this. I've created an outline to give you an idea of what % confidence do you have that you have the clear steps to create the life that's meaningful and important to you. You've secured all your financial and legal requirements, and you've updated your end of life documents and plans. I, as a widow, find that very important. I call it life in reverse. Do you have the resources and the right people in place to propel you toward your goals and dreams? How about your health? Do you know that you are a role model for yourself and others? Do you know how to achieve those goals? Are you moving through any grief, trauma, loss that you may have experienced in your life? Are you stuck in any aspects of your life and you are ready to let go of that? Are you surrounded by the right people and activities to guide you and help others? And do you know how to have fun and diversion? And do you take the time to put the rewards into your life first? These are the kinds of things that I work on with my clients. And all of that helps you make good decisions that are in your best interest. And then you look like an obvious choice for someone else to help make good decisions that might be in their best interest. Because what I do with people is I help create a clear, well-lit path to the next chapter in your life and love story. Now, here's one of my favorite exercises. And what I'd like you to do, if you are in the meetup, or I may have sent you this exercise in advance, so you have a list of all of these values. If you don't have that, or you didn't do it before this, what I'd love for you to do is, as I move through these core values, pick one or two and just remember them or put them in the chat. Which of these core values represents you? That's my question. And you can put them in the chat. Appearance, advancement, authority, bliss, calm, challenges, compassion, communication, commitment, creativity. Maybe you really value community. Maybe you love excitement and you like to live beyond expectations. Maybe family is your most important core value, or entrepreneurship, or economic security. Maybe your friends are the most important thing that you value in your life. Involvement, honesty, intellectual challenge, independence. Maybe advanced knowledge is what's so valuable to you that you prioritize it above other things. Or leadership, maybe you're very physically adept. Maybe peace, patience, or love is what represents you well. And generosity and authenticity, great. Shaheen says challenges, energy, independence, and creativity. Beautiful. Simplicity, self-respect, trust, 110%. There's a really good reason I'm asking you to go through this exercise. Maybe tolerance is something you value, or health, servant leadership, empathy, or living in the moment. My family, of course, family is everything. All right, so you've got your top core values. Here's the magic in this activity. When you have your top core values, what I think is so important, oh, the dog is playing with me. Hi, sweetheart. You can use those core values in all of the decisions that you make. So if you're choosing to, should I stay or should I go? Should I sell this house? Should I move communities? Should I, do I invest in education, or do I invest in my family? And invest could mean time, energy, money, budgeting, any of your resources in that. Should I volunteer because servant leadership? I have a client who her main thrust in her life is being philanthropic. So these are the kinds of things that when you know your core values, it will help you make decisions, and you won't be distracted by shiny activities and objects and go, I really appreciate philanthropy, but that really fast, shiny car looks like a good idea right now. So really it's all for you to make sure that you are living in your integrity and your authenticity, and that you're guided by your own values. All right, you ready for the secret ninja skill and the trick that I use that's so good in this activity? Are you ready? If you were to do that activity again and think about the values of the person you would like to invite into your life, and you presented the top 5 values that they represent. Now realize they do not have to be exactly the same. They do, however, need to be complementary value systems, because you could have activities and events and interests very much alike with someone, but the way that your value system is lined up will be the way that you make choices and decisions. And that's key to having a healthy, happy relationship and finding a partner who wants similar desires and dreams that you have. All right, good one. Let's go on to the next thing. I would like to share with you simple reasons why relationships don't work. And I can simmer this down to one reason why relationships don't work. Would you like to know what it is? I'm looking to see if they want to know. All right, I'm going to give you an idea. Yes, Jane says yes. I'm going to give you an interesting study. This is called the Thatcher effect. This is a picture of beautiful Adele upside down. Now, what I'm going to tell you may surprise you, because your brilliant brain has made sense of this picture. And I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's say you are going out on a date with someone and you're very excited about this person, and you have started future casting, I call it. It's not future planning, it's future casting. And when you're future casting, you're like idealizing what could happen. This is a totally normal and healthy thing to do. And what I talk about is like, if you could only see half of my face, I don't know how to do that here. Your brain, your brilliant brain, is actually filling out the picture of what you would anticipate the other half of my face is going to look like. If you were looking at a jigsaw puzzle and there was a piece missing, your brilliant brain is going to make sense of the puzzle and kind of fill in what you think should go into that part of the picture, right? Right, right. Now, I'm going to turn this picture right side up for you. Apparently, our brain doesn't see subtle discrepancies in faces that are upside down. And here's what is happening. As your brain is filling out the picture, you're filling it out with not enough information about this other person who you're about to go on a date with. So let's make this comfortable again. Here's ideal, right side up, and even upside down, but lovely as we know her. So here's what's happening. You don't have enough information. So when you are going out on a date with someone or any encounter, be curious and ask open-ended questions that will provide you and fulfill you with the answers you need to discover, does that person have the core values that I would like to invite into my life? But what happens more often than not is we spend all this time and energy and effort, and we're dreaming of what it could be, which is the right thing to do. But then we go out on the date and we've idealized, yeah, it is scary. We've idealized what could happen. And in fact, then we are disappointed with this person. And it's not fair because you haven't really met the person. So realize that being your genuine self and be right side up, and understand that you're going out to engage and meet this person where they're at and who they authentically are without all the future casting. It will make a huge difference in how you approach the dating experience. So let me know when you want the one big reason I know that relationships are out of alignment. And here, as we're going through that, I'm going to wait for somebody to ask, because I'm just feeling like it. So here's how to screen the wrong one for you. and we talked about red flags. So in the chat, will you share with me what might be a red flag that you're like, oh no, I'm not doing that. That's not the right person for me. So I'm going to look in the chat for that. Things I've heard are geographically undesirable. Some people are very faith-based and they really want someone to have that similar faith and belief. If someone is not loyal, someone who's untrustworthy, yep. If somebody is consistently complaining because it feels like, it's draining your energy totally. And the way that you can tell that, of course, is how they treat anyone will eventually be how they treat you. If someone who's not nice to the wait staff, it's a strong indicator. It's like, what is that? Narcissistic traits, yes. I feel like briefly touching upon attachment styles, because that's what narcissistic traits inspires me to present to you. If you don't know about attachment styles, there's a whole scientific research done on this. And essentially there's people who are anxious attachers, and these are the loving givers in the world who are like, how if I could only have given more, or if I had done more or said the right thing, then it would have worked. There's the opposite field of that, and there's the avoidant attachers, and these are the charismatic ones who like, oh wow, the anxious attachers and the avoidant attachers are fantastic together for a very short time. There's fireworks that fizzle because the avoidant attachers are trying to get someone to fulfill their dream come true, but no one is good enough. Now, there's also the secure attachment style. And if you can find someone with a secure attachment style, they don't take it too personally. They're not going to take more than they need. It's take what you need, not more than what you need. Give what you can, not more than what you have. Those are people who can be partnered with any of these attachment styles because they know how to deal with those challenges, as opposed to legitimizing, yeah, you're not enough. All right, that was my secret. The one primary reason that relationships don't work is somebody feels like they're not enough, which ends up making them feel like they're not lovable. And that's not true. They're just with the wrong, they have the wrong tools. And somebody with a secure attachment style could totally make the adjustments with that. The question that came in, do you believe in love at first sight? Yes, I do. The best way to fall in love at first sight is to know who you're looking for. I didn't surprise you with that one, I don't think. And yes, I have fallen in love at first sight before. I know lots of people do. And in fact, many of my clients will be like, we're getting closer, we're getting closer, we're getting closer. And then Shazam, when 3 days of legitimately becoming relationship ready, her dream come true comes in, and she can identify him because she knows what her dream come true will look like. Thanks, Corinne, for being honest. Of course, I'm here. That's what we're all here for. And that's really how to make that magic happen. So it does happen, but if you don't know who you're looking for, it's really hard to figure out, is that it? And you could try it. That's fun too, by the way. All right, now let's talk about simple reasons why relationships do work. We've talked about setting up the lifeline of your relationship arc, like who are you now? Who would you like to step into becoming? Who's the right person to invite into your life so that you can achieve your goals in your life? And I say this because of my personal experience. My husband, his last words were, I love you. I know my husband died with the confidence that he really lived. I want that for you. So where are you at in your lifeline? I just got a little triggered on that one, but I'm here. Lifeline of your relationship arc, then pulling in complementary core values, then take into consideration family, faith, fitness, finance, profession, temperament, frequency, lifestyle, their potential versus their capacity, intellectual connection, And are they hazard free? Oh, no, you don't have to apologize. It's all good. And then there's something that one of my colleagues said, your loins are a thermometer, not a GPS. And I'm still laughing about that. I'm forever. So how do we align people in a relationship to go from chemistry to casual to committed? Because we want to screen the right ones for you. And here come the green lights. It's so interesting to me that it's harder to find the green lights. It's easier to find the red lights. So what I've done is I've put together a list of green lights that are go signs. If you're in a partnership with someone who supports your personal growth, practices self-care, is self-reflective, has long-standing relationships, can demonstrate and show empathy, who can be vulnerable and find strength in vulnerability, someone who's got spirituality, has hobbies, is self-sufficient, honors boundaries, has a sense of self, who is self-assured and shows self-responsibility. These are green light go flags that I have seen come in. All right. Come on, baby. Consider this. Here's your relationship challenge. I'm stuck in the same patterns. Deep down, I don't feel worthy. I don't trust myself in intimate relationships. I don't know how to navigate obstacles. Are these things that you have felt in the past? Are these things that you have wondered for yourself? And you really are ready for a relationship dream come true. You want to confidently be able to say, I know how to attract the right person and co-create a healthy relationship. Stop imagining, start doing. I can show you the step-by-step process of how to build a successful relationship. So this program is for you if you are legally, financially, and emotionally available, and you are ready to be in a healthy relationship. With the program that I've developed and this process, I've made it possible for you to get all the clarity that you need so that you can trust yourself in all of your relationships, and you can navigate challenges and obstacles with ease. You will no longer feel stuck in the pain of loneliness, and you will feel equipped to navigate your dream come true. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to go to theartofrelationshiping.com, and this is going to be my gift to you. And you'll see my big face there. And up in the corner, it says speak with Michelle. And I just this afternoon opened up space on my calendar. And if for some reason they're still not, sounds great, good. I look forward to meeting you in person. And really, I will help you move the needle if I can. If it's appropriate, we can talk about if we would like to work together or not. But for showing up here, I would like to extend this gift to you. So go to theartofrelationshiping.com, click on the Speak with Michelle, see if there's a time available. If for some reason that there's not, you can connect with me there and we can find something that works. And even if for some reason you're too like, I'm not ready, you can go to theartofrelationshiping.com and click on resources. And here you can find the essential tips to building an online dating profile that really works. So if you want to do this on your own, you can. And I'm giving you the tools to do that. If you would like my help, I am happy to help you. And that's the art of relationshiping. So with that, I'm going to come in. Sure. Oh, great. Okay. So I would like to invite any and all of you, if you would like, I can add a few minutes to this, and there should be a way for me to allow all of you to talk. But I will ask you to unmute if you'd like. If you've got any questions for me, go ahead and bring them. You can either ask in the chat or speak up. I welcome you here. This is your time. Be brave. Trying to make it so that I can universally invite anyone to say anything. So how can I help you? I've given you an overview. Was that helpful? Was any of this new? Somebody.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Shaheem. Am I saying your name right?
Yeah.
Excellent. How can I help you succeed?
All right, cool. So I just want to say first and foremost, the entire presentation was awesome. I really learned a lot.
Thank you. I'm glad. That's why I did it. Yoop, yoop.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, because I've been reading just a lot of books, and one of the books.
Hey, hi, I'm listening, but I just got a call from Cleo and Sean. We have an important call, so I'm sorry. I'll thank you.
Kara, you're welcome to put some time on my calendar.
Hold on one
I have
second.
some ideas for you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
All right, Shaheem, sorry for that. Keep going.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So yeah,
sorry, I'm on this call.
Hang on a sec. I'm gonna mute her. All right, it's all you, babe.
Alrighty. So I read this book by Gary Chapman called The 5 Love Languages.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to see your opinion on it. Like, do you really think that identifying a person's primary love language is an important priority in order to build a relationship with us?
Great question. Thank you. I do adore the love languages. I believe that we are each unique in the way that we approach life, and finding the right, there's a lid to every pot. I don't know where that phrase came from, but I love the concept of the love languages because it helps give you a tool to understanding your partner who may address their lives and the world in a different way. So is it a perfect solution? Not necessarily. However, understanding their priorities of their love languages. So if you don't know about them, the love languages are acts of service. So would you like somebody to get up and make you a coffee in the morning, and you know that that would just be your dream come true? Another one that I've heard about is, oh my God, I know this couple, and he puts a rose by her bed every day. He made a commitment on their wedding day. He has done it for decades. There is a fresh rose by her bed. No, once a week, there is a fresh rose by her bed. That was his personal thing. And she knows that that's there. Somebody who will open the door for you. So these are all acts of service. Somebody who will take out the garbage. You know, whatever it is, whatever acts of service are meaningful to you. So that's what it is. It's like, what is meaningful and what's the priority? Some people probably don't care if the garbage goes out on a regular basis, you know? So you have to figure out where, like, I use a tool called the obligation Richter scale. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important are these 5 love languages? And I'll tell you the rest of them in a second. Put them in order of priority, but then it doesn't give you enough information. It's like, what act of service would you like? So gifts is another one, but I have a thing about gifts. And I just gave my clients a gift, and one of them was like, let's talk about that. And I'm like, oh, this gift is without strings. I'm offering it to you, but you are under no obligation to receive the gift. So don't accept parcels that are not appropriate for you or that you don't want. It was actually an artist paints emotions, and that was the gift I was giving. I don't know if she wants it or not, but I'm extending that I will purchase that for any of my current clients as a gift. So now I've put that on a recording. So acts of service, gifts, but what if you give something that that's not the right kind of gift? So you really being curious and asking open questions, and you might want to surprise them, and knowing someone well enough to know what they really would love. That's the good kind of gift. Is it, the token gift, or is it a significant, pricey gift? Is it a gift of an experience together? So, acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation. sometimes people need to be reaffirmed that they're doing the right things right. And this is such a lovely one. So I was just working with a client, and she's on a date with a really spectacular person. And she's like, he was holding my hand, but he was doing something kind of weird, and I didn't know what it was. And so this would be, it's so early in the relationship. His vibration is higher. He's probably excited about being with this amazing person. And I'm suggesting that she share with him, either through verbal or nonverbal communication, how she would love for him to be holding hands with her. So words of affirmation, she doesn't want to go, because he's a wonderful guy, but she could then hold his hand in a way that she likes hand holding, or she can even say, I really am enjoying us holding hands together. So it's a we commentary. It would be nice to hold hands like this, so that she can give the affirmation of you're doing it right. Okay, so words of affirmation, quality time together is sharing experiences together, and it could be just sitting on the couch in silence or driving or whatever it is, but having that kind of connection is very important to people. And quality time or physical touch, or words of affirmation may be more important than acts of service or gifts. So I love that you brought up the love languages, Shaheem, because it's a tool. It's one tool that you can use to connect with someone in more than an intimate way. And I call intimacy a very high level form of communication. So I would recommend to use the love languages as a tool to understand and share and get to know your partner in a way that you can show up for them. And you'll learn how they want to show up for you as well. Does that answer your question?
Most definitely. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Let's do one more. Anybody else? I'm seeing things moving. All right. I invite you to go to theartofrelationshipping.com if you would like to share some time with me. I look forward to meeting you, and I look forward to helping you find love now. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.